take their seats. Some of the participants are yet to arrive. Trying to, all the esteemed guests, I request them to take their very warm welcome everyone present for the celebration of International Day of Forest 2020. To make this occasion even more special, we have the august presence of the eminent foresters of the 1975 and 1976 batch of the Indian Forest Service who are here for a 2 day celebration of Senior Foresters Workshop on completion of the 50 years of their service. And today, the day of special significance. It is March 21st, the spring equinox, a moment when day and nights are equal, symbolizing a perfect harmony between dawn and dusk, legacy and future, and of course, junior and senior. As many of us might know, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 21st March as the International Day of Forest in the year 2012. The day celebrates and raises the awareness about vital role of forests across the globe. On each day of International Forest, countries are encouraged to undertake local, national, and international international effort to organize activities involving forests and trees. The theme for 2025 being Forests and Foods. It highlights the crucial role of forests in food security, nutrition, and livelihood. The tagline, Nurture the Forest to Nourish the People by FAO, also emphasizes. Now, I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Aman Gupta, IFS Professional, to deliver the welcome. Very pleasant morning. It's a privilege to extend a warm welcome to all, especially the International Day of Forest. What better way of celebrating than being here in the dance of National Day. The very institution that is made has shaped the generation of first and foremost, I extend my heartfelt welcome to the director of ITN. Third, the leadership ITN has continued to uphold the premier team for India's forest. We are grateful for your presence. It's a moment of great honor. Welcome the distinguished officers and dignitaries. So, having you here today is not just a privilege, but a profound opportunity for all. You are all leaders who have supported the foundation of India's forest. We have created civil ecological policy decades of 1970s to 90s, the defining year for India's environmental policy. And the patches played a pivotal role in the country. Forest's dedication to youth is possible for support of the country. Recognizing this pivotal role, extend a warm welcome to the Academy for most pleased to welcome Raj Pawar, additional director, Professor Indra Mistry, most coordinator of the workforce, Officer in Statistics, fourth director of our I welcome the request of the foreign training committee to present continuing dedication to the cause of the platform. Last but not least, I send a warm welcome to employees and staff. Now representing the Next, we have a short video presentation which has already been shown to our senior officers during their workshop. But for the courtesy of our professionals, we are going to have the video.
यादों के पुराने एल्बम में छुपा अपनी सी बजा के रखी है हमने वो दिन. Like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, weeks or months, even your year, but I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Yeah, city. Then I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे दम दे तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे. यारा तेरी यारी उम्र सारी साथ है यारा तेरी यारी उम्र सारी साथ है यारा तेरी यारी उम्र सारी साथ है. You can't count on me, 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. सच्चे दोस्त वही होते हैं जो अच्छे वक्त में आपकी बजाते हैं और जब मुश्किल वक्त आता है तो वही छिछोरे आपके दरवाजे पर खड़े नजर आते हैं. दिलों में तुम अपनी बेताबियां लेके चल रहे हो, तुम जिंदा हो. नजर में ख्वाबों की बिजलियां लेके चल रहे हो, तुम जिंदा हो. हवा के झोंकों के जैसे आजाद रहना सीखो, तुम एक दरिया के जैसे लहरों में बहना सीखो.
Truly inspiring, right? Took cuts to the memory lanes of that wonderful era. Thank you. So, as we move ahead, on the second day of the Senior Foresters Workshop, as we are also celebrating the International Day of Forest, 5 esteemed officers from 1975 and 1976 batch have graciously agreed to share their insights on the forestry sector during the period of 1960s, 70s, and 80s, a time that laid the foundation for many of the forest policies and laws that we still follow. So, first, I invite Director Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, Dr. Jagmohan Sharma sir, to grace the stage and preside over the event. I would also like to invite Dr. Devendra Pandey sir, IFS officer of 1975 batch, born on Agmat Kadar, to grace the stage and take his seat. It is my privilege to invite Dr. C.K. Sridharan sir, officer of 1975 batch, born on Tamil Nadu cadre, to kindly join us on the stage. I now have the honor of inviting Dr. S.P. Shrestha from Nepal, who trained at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy with a batch of 1975 to step on the dais and grace this occasion. Also, I would like to invite Shri S.K. Ahluwalia, sir, officer of 1976 batch, born on Uttar Pradesh cadre, to grace the stage and take his seat. I am delighted to welcome Shri Ong Chai Lai from Malaysia, who trained at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy with a batch of 1976 to grace the dais. Now, it is the most awaited segment of the program. We are privileged to have with us seasoned foresters who have dedicated their lives to the service of Mother Nature. Their experiences span across critical decades, shaping the trajectory of the forestry sector. Before I invite them for their presentation, I would like to invite Director Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, Shri Jagmohan Sharma sir, for his introductory remarks.
Thank you and good morning. A very important occasion, the International Day of Forests, and to top that all up, officers from 75 and 76 batch amongst us, which makes it so special. And I think the film that you saw has talked as to what the Forest Service training looked like at that point in time, the way they have seen dressed up, the way the latitude of activities you see in those pictures. But it is outcome of all of that great, rigorous training that was part of this career in the Indian Forest Service, that we find them in perhaps better shape than say some of us, and we are so happy about it. And it also gives us hope that if we strive, we can remain as robust. Because if they are 50 years of service, add around 22, 23 years, and then you find 73, 74, 75 is the age group, and they are walking, they are making all efforts, and they are enthusiastic, and these are the learnings. So on this important day, we have 5 officers who would be sharing the positioning of the forestry sector in the decades of 1960, 1970, and 1980. That gives us an insight into as to how forestry sector was looked at, what were the activities, or what was the focus of governance in the country with regard to the forest, maintenance of forest, and conservation forest in the country. The rules of the game for this session are very simple. There are 5 speakers. Each of them has 7 minutes at their disposal to speak. And there is a timekeeping happening, which course director or someone would be doing. Answers at about 5 minutes of your discourse. There would be a bell will be pressed, which will indicate to you and that you have another 2 minutes, and after the 7 minutes, a longish bell will be played. And after everyone has spoken, then there would be opportunity for probationers to ask questions, and one of them would respond to those questions. And we can have this session till about 1 o'clock, after which you have the classes and they also have their next engagement. So I welcome you all to this session. I welcome the speakers to this session and look forward for very interesting deliberation, which otherwise are not accessible or available to us. It's only they who know it, and they are sharing with us today. So it's very important for us to listen to them very intently. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Now, without further ado, I would request Dr. Devendra Pandey, sir, to address the gathering. Devendra Pandey.
The Director of the IGNFE, Dr. Jagmohan, faculty of the IGNFE, my dear friends of 74, 75 and 76 batch, and the brilliant young IFS professionals. It gives me a lot of pleasure to stand before you. In fact, the time allotted is so less that we can't do justice with this subject. I will just try to give you some synoptic view of the technological advances in the forestry sector, which has taken place in last not only 3-4 decades. I think basically it started in last 3 decades when the remote sensing, computer and all has made inroad in the forest sector. Friends, you are already a techno savvy. I saw your profile and I find more than 85% from your batch are from the engineering, B.Tech, computer. You are very familiar with the technological. In fact, there was a time when I was doing MSc in 1969, books were not available in statistics when I was doing my master's. Now you can find books on the computers to study, to acquire knowledge. This is the advancement of the technology which has taken place in last 50, 55, 60 years. And in forestry, of course, there has been developments because we were not knowing, we knew only that how much is the forest resource, notified forest resource of the country. Now, with the application of the remote sensing technology, it has been easier and one can find it out and we can talk with authenticity, the resources. I'll just give you to move. Can you move faster? This way? Okay. I would like to move a little faster. Basically, you remember 2 things. In the technology, why technology is useful in the overall forestry sector? Because it enhances. This is the time period of technology. In fact, we want things to be done in a superior way. It improves the efficiency, it improves the accuracy, and also the transparency. 2 major pillars, I'll say, which has been affecting the forestry sector in a positive way, I'll say. The computer, satellites, which also includes the communication satellites, remote sensing, GIS and GPS. In forestry sector, it has not been penetrated as much as in the other sectors. You see, these sectors where technology has penetrated, the banking account, we go to the bank. Perhaps we go very little to the bank because most of the things are done online. Similarly, in the railways, also in the many other sectors. It has been advancing very fast. Use of computer remote sensing, because the forestry being a land-based activity. I mean, that is the, if you wanted the management to be done, the management has to be, there has to be measurement. We were talking of the sustainability. Sustainability can be done only when we have the accurate information. You can read this. I will not read because the time is short. Basic features of the remote sensing satellites, you will find the most important point that once we have the imagery, I think the next door to your organization is the Forest Survey of India. You will learn more about it, about the remote sensing technology, and also perhaps it might be in the part of their courses. This has played a very important role, but season of the data is extremely important because the trees shed their leaves. If you take a data of an area and during the summer time, perhaps it will give a reflection that there is no vegetation. And satellites move continuously across the globe. This has started in 1972. Prior to that, in fact, in our time, we were learning only some aerial photography. Now we learn more about the imagery and high resolution satellites. We have the capability of knowing, I think I'll show you some slides. You can see the various kinds of satellites which are there, which has got resolution of even up to 31 centimeter, 30 centimeters. We use Google, we are using various kinds of the high resolution imageries. This is the one satellite, perhaps you might be knowing, the Quick Bird, which is started the high resolution imagery in the ICONOS in 1999, and now in last 25 years, there is a big revolution across the world. In India also, we have the Cartosats. More recently, we have the Sentinel, we have the Planet Labs, and they are all available easily, and also some of the satellites are available free of cost. So making use of this technology has become very convenient for the assessment, and for that we have to work on the management. This is just to give you an example. Yesterday we were discussing about the Forest Rights Act, how to know the difference between which area has been encroached subsequent to the cutoff date. This is an exercise which was done. It is easier to find it out that the areas after cutoff date, what are the areas which has been marked with the red. This we can see, I mean, this is the World View satellites, which has got a resolution of 50 centimeter or 30 centimeter. Then comes the next is the drone. I think when you go back to the departments, Forest Department will find that drone has become very popular. The government of India has also liberalized the policy of the use of the drones. The new policy where we can read that 90% of the area is made, airspace is made without any, I mean, it's known as the green space where drones can fly without restrictions. Then earlier we had a GPS system which had the monopoly of the US. Now the three other nations, European Union and the Russian satellites, that has been launched for the, even the Indian and satellites have been also launched. The Chinese, they have launched the satellites for knowing the geographic locations more precisely than it used to be in 1990 or 99 or even 2000. Up to, I think, until very recently, this has happened, this almost 5 years ago. This is how does the star satellites move for the geographic locations. The instruments which are used. This is another effort which has been made by the Survey of India. It's not Forest Survey of India, but the Survey of India. They have put what you call the continuous operating reference network, which gives the exact location. And there been earlier, we wanted the geographic locations more precisely. So we were using the more powerful GPS. But now I think even the ordinary GPS can provide with the help of this Chorus system of the Survey of India, and we can get it updated. There are about 1,000 stations which have been established across the country. This is we get about 3 to 4 centimeter accuracy, and I think that's quite high, especially with respect to the forest area. This is the structure and the network of the Chorus. Then next comes the information and communication technology, which has been applied in the forest departments. Many forest departments have developed the applications, application softwares for many purposes. I'm giving you just a synoptic view, an example of one or two. Haryali is one where you find which nursery, how many seedlings of what species growing in case of Haryana. If you are planting trees, if you want to monitor it, there is what we call the ArcGIS quick capture. Means you plant a tree, you want to monitor it, you take a photo, it is captured and it is transmitted to the server. So you are in a position to know how much total plantation has taken place. This is the one example what UP and many other forest departments are following it. Then another aspect in the application of the technology, biotechnology. Biotechnology, the productivity enhancement has been one of the basic objective of the forest sector. That whether plantations or the natural forest, the total biomass has to grow up and the productivity has to be increased. So the clonal process of multiplication and use of the clonal seedlings in the plantations has become very popular over a period of time. Next comes the application of technology in the wood processing. Mostly we have been using the wood for making furniture. Now you find MDF, HDF, plywood, veneer, and I think most of the furnitures where you find there is, maybe some reason for someone to doubt that what will be the durability, but so far as the use is concerned, for increasing requirement of the society, I think it meets the very purpose. On the same volume of wood which is grown from forest, you make more furnitures, decorate the houses with the timber. Then comes, this is all comes in the wildlife. You must be knowing that monitoring of the tigers it started with the National Tiger Conservation Authority. They developed with the help of the Wildlife Institute the first software application where they are in a position to track the people who are monitoring, who are entering in the forest, and it is being recorded now at the DFO's office or at the what you call the director's office. His movement also comes in the computer. So that way, the technology is helping a lot. This is just to give you a snapshot how it goes when you go or the forester is moving in the forest area, how it looks like. You are in a position to track it. Use of camera. I think you might not be knowing that before that we were having the count of the animals, especially the tiger census was done with the help of the pug mark. But now the situation has changed. Use of the cameras. And these camera traps are being fitted. I think last census which took place, I remember around 38,000 cameras were placed in the different locations of the forest to keep track of the animals, and it was easier to find because the tigers have got a very specific like our fingerprints. Their strips are also for every tiger, it is a unique stripe on its back. Then for using this technology for making the assessment about the biodiversity, ecologically sensitive area, make use of the remote sensing technology and identify the area, do the mapping of it using GIS application. The last slide to you, because of the application of the technology, it has been possible to assess and monitor the forest resource more accurately, and also the monitoring of the young plantations. It has been possible to do it. The Forest Survey of India does it. High productive plantations using the high-tech nursery seedlings. It is possible to enhance the productivity. You must be knowing that productivity enhancement may be 3 to 4 times if we are using the clonal technology. This is just to give you a synoptic view of the technology application, but there is a challenge before you to apply it in the field and to make innovations. Today we were discussing that on the minor forest products, NTFP, we have lesser or very little information about how to manage its sustainability. And there is a need for applying the technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for emphasizing the technological application in the forestry sector. And sin theta and cos theta better than Shoria robusta and Tectona grandis, which of course the academy is trying to impart knowledge for all of us. Now, I would like to Dr. C.K. Sridharan sir to share these insights. Due to paucity of time, I kindly request sir to complete his presentation within stipulated time of 7 minutes.
Mr. Jagmohan Sharma, Mr. Bajpai, Mr. Sudhagar. Which one forward? Okay. My esteemed colleagues, more importantly, my junior colleagues, the probationers. Vanakkam. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be present amongst you on the International Forestry Day and share a few thoughts. I am not going to talk on forestry at all. I am going to talk on how we should manage the forest from the point of view of probationers. And my colleagues may kindly bear with me. My 5 minutes presentation is directly aimed at probationers in terms of developing professionalism. I am going to talk on professional excellence. Can I have the slides? Yes. You all must have traveled by Indigo. Have a look at the door which enters into the cabin. You will see those words. You are in a very important profession. Leave all your worries here and enter into the cabin. I thought it applies to us also. You are in a very, very important profession called forestry, which will determine the economic well-being and the ecological well-being of the country. So please keep your flag aloft from the day you have started your profession till the day you leave it. That's what the professionalism in forestry should be. Next, please. I am going to talk on multiple intelligence because most of our selection, training, further performance is based on just general intelligence. We need multiple intelligence to become extremely good in professionalism. First of all, to improve your personality, and then to become a professional, and then to achieve excellence. I do not want to go into the definition. You may read it because of shortage of time, but there are 6 intelligence which I would be dealing with: general intelligence, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, spiritual intelligence and physical intelligence. You may add also the usage of artificial intelligence as a seventh one, because that is what now today everybody is crazy about. So that will become a very important thing, but it cannot replace the natural intelligence by any stretch of imagination. That will remain there, that can be added on. If you look at the intelligence which I have talked, the general intelligence, the capital is mental capital, our brain. It speaks about what I think. Emotional capital, emotional intelligence, the capital is emotional capital, and it talks about what I feel. There are a lot of difference between what I think and feel. Spiritual capital, which is what our country is known for. I think we are so rich in that, most of us can be proud of it. Spiritual intelligence talks about what am I? This question perhaps must start from the day we start our profession. Relationship capital is the capital of social intelligence. We talk about social forestry, which came when during our time, your 60s, 70s, and 80s. Social forestry was the word those days. It runs through, then it became to joint forest management, participatory management, and all that. So social intelligence becomes very important. The day you get into the profession, this becomes very, very important. Then health capital, one need not talk about the physical intelligence, which we apply as if we don't give importance to that. Even when you do your physical training, PT and games, I don't know whether you really relate it to your physical intelligence and then to the total multiple intelligence. Moral intelligence is very, very important in profession. What you do right and wrong is decided by moral intelligence. And then I try to find out, it's on my making, which is more important. In your own, you have an evaluation at the end of your career, at the end of your training, where I saw what you're doing. I'll bring it in the slide and try to relate it to this, what I am talking about. Here I gave general intelligence 40%. It is very arbitrary. It can be 20, it can be 30. Then you go into emotional intelligence. To me, the most important character of a person is decided by emotional intelligence and not general intelligence. General intelligence everybody will have. The vice president of the Google, who was the HRA, Google was asked, which is the most important criteria you look for when you go for selection? Her answer was, I look at attitude, and attitude is nothing but an emotional intelligence. So I don't want to go further into this. General intelligence, again, you know very well. General intelligence is nothing but a cognitive intelligence where you have your knowledge, you have your expertise or skill, and then your experience. That makes your general intelligence. Improvement of general intelligence. We all study, learn, go through so many matters, and you improve your general intelligence, you become a good expert on that. But I'll go to emotional and spend some more time on this. This is where I think the training should give importance. This is where in the department we must give in career building among our staff and their own opportunities. And then you may find the performance becomes better individually and by the organization. I had been both in the government and in the private corporate. In corporate, they give a lot of importance to emotional intelligence. In government, it gives least intelligence to emotional intelligence. I am not going to explain this because it's easy for me to run through the slides and keep talking for more time. I would spend a little time here. Look at the emotional intelligence, how it acts. You may become sad, you may become angry, you may become happy, you may become surprised, you may become disgusted. These are all these feelings which you get through emotional intelligence, not in general intelligence. So your brain is not working in the real sense of the term it would. And the way it, once you feel it, the next column, the second column, it talks about the feelings. Sorry, the reaction. The first one is the feeling, the center one. The third one is the second one is the reaction, and the third one is the cause. If one can identify this and work on it, either in probation or later, he would make his personality better, and that person will become a better professional. You can get the slide. I have given a copy of it. You can have a look at it and then further build upon that. Emotion determines behavior. In fact, knowledge is good, expertise is good, experience is good, but your behavior is poor, you will be a very bad professional. What to talk of professional excellence? Anger and fear. Most of us don't take decision due to fear or take decision due to anger. Both under emotional, you must have an emotional control. Self-awareness, self-aware of oneself and also aware of others who are outside will determine how you react, how you act and react. That determines the professional's behavior, and that is very important under emotional intelligence. Spiritual intelligence. This is what our country is very strong. A number of years back, I was in Frankfurt waiting for a transfer. A German came. I was returning back to a country quite some time back. And then we became friends. And then I asked, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Chennai. I said, I am also. And then we became friends and I asked, where are you going? He said, every year I go 1 month to a country for only yoga and meditation. He said, I refurnish myself every year. And I said, oh my God, I am not doing this. Somebody else has recognized this. This is what our country's strength is about. I don't want to run that. Only one slide, one sentence I would like to read, the last one. There is a center of purity in all of us called consciousness and is unpolluted. Our body is composed of our senses, which are subordinate to our minds. Whatever action we do, either physically or otherwise, it's all controlled by mind. Our consciousness is not subordinate to mind. That's where the spirituality comes in. Mind can play mischief and make you do wrong, but consciousness being pure will never do anything wrong. You can cheat or deceive thousands of persons, but you can't cheat your conscience. That's what morality is all about. Moral intelligence is all about. And then there are qualities: empathy, honesty, gratitude, patience, generosity, forgiveness, resilience, humility. These are all character of a professional of excellence. All comes out of the moral intelligence. We don't give much importance to that. Perhaps even in training, I don't know anybody talks about moral intelligence, spiritual intelligence. I do not know if it is done wonderful. Physical intelligence, yes, but importance is neither understood by the person who gives it nor the person who receives it in the real sense. I wish they understand totally of that. It would make it more meaningful. Moral intelligence I've already referred to. Good and bad, right and wrong, ethics. The most important thing today in our management. The prime requirement of quality of a professional. There are some top 30, 40, 50 other characters which I have in it. I'll only refer to 5. The rest, I don't want to, they are all similar. A professional passion. If you are not passionate about your forestry, you better leave. You are professionally passionate, you will make a good professional. Passion determines the job that you do. If you don't like to do the job, you should perhaps look for alternative. You have chosen yourself very good, but by chance you have come, please change and make it your choice. Then you'll do good. Formulate a clear vision and goal. I am not talking of organization for you, but let it tally with the goal and objective of the organization, unless otherwise there will be disparity. Have it very clearly from the day one. What do you want to do when you leave after 35, 40 years? Where do you want to reach? How do you want to reach? If you are not clear, you may struggle. At least after a few days, you must come to that and then take it up further. That would make you a better professional than otherwise. And pursue and develop maximum competence. These are all self-explanatory. Acquire and develop self-confidence. Self-confidence determines the professional, how well he performs. If you have no confidence on what you are doing, you will make a bad professional. That is also obvious. And practice continuous learning. Super specialize in certain discipline. Have academic degrees on that and practice it. Then you will be listened to. Consistency must be the character, vanquish the ego, etc. So, lot of vanquish the ego becomes very, very important. An egoistic man doesn't becomes a good professional. Can I switch over to 54th slide, please? 54th. Fifty-fourth number. You end it and then go to 54. because of shortage of time, I thought we may not be able to do justice to such a subject in such a short. This is what? This is your own internal assessment. I hope professionals knows it at the end of the year. Your ranking is decided. Look at your thing, emotional stability, all 20%. It was so easy. Somebody who has done it extremely well done this. This was not there earlier, nor was it transparent earlier. We didn't know what marks or contact marks that and all that. This is what contact marks is all about. Not what he said, what he threw a stone, that is not contact. This is emotional stability and up to state of health. Look at the last column, and which I have drawn, of what in which intelligence they follow. Do the probationers know it? Do they develop that? Do you help them to develop? I think director may look at it. The other one, again, I looked at the second, your assessment of your internal assessment. Again, you have given a marks of out of 100, 10, 15 and all that. I don't know how you value that. How do you measure it? That's going to be very subjective. But then how important the EI, please look at it. Emotional intelligence plays a larger role. The moral intelligence plays a very next to important role. And general intelligence takes only 10%. So that's how you are going to be evaluated. So be careful about it. And I think not even 5 minutes or over. Over. So I conclude here. When somebody enters a profession, let him be very serious about it. Let him be passionate about it. Let him make it a point and have a clear goal. Achieve it through all the 6 intelligence which I have narrated. Add artificial intelligence now, because for you it is going to be very important. But it has no consciousness. It has no innovation. It has no creativity. They're all going to be done by you. Become a good professional. Make the best use of forestry. You are in a profession and you are in a place where you are going to serve nature and people. And we are the only department which are perhaps fortunately being given a chance to serve the nature and people. Do it well. Achieve the best in your service. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Now, I would like to request Dr. S.P. Shrestha, sir, to enlighten with his thoughts.
Next and this back. This is next. Yes, okay. Good afternoon. Happy International Day of Forest. It is my great privilege to be here after almost 50 years with my colleague and friends, Director Dr. Jagmohan Sharma, Mr. Sudhakar, with a well done, pretty well job with the other professor and staff of the Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy. So, my presentation is entirely different from the technical aspect point of view, I'm putting step by step the 50 years period. Some of the slides you might have already seen in the video presentation, So, I start with the Shri Ganeshaya Namah. I believe most of you people know what does mean by Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Why I'm showing this slide to you? There is a big relation between this elephant and my family. You see the giant elephants without tusk, that is called Makuna, and the tusk with big tusk is called Dantar elephant, So let me go to my background, to my family, This is my parent, My dad was a judge and my mom, housewife. That I have already told you. So this elephant was a domesticated elephant. The family of that member, they died, and there was only one old lady left, and she told, "I can't support you. Please go away." And
after many years, he left, Even at the death of that woman, this Ganesh elephant went into the funeral while the lady was being cremated. So that is the story of that elephant. One of sudden, then it becomes free elephant, and it started wandering all over the forest and outside the forest. One day he was going, and somebody came and, Maharaj, please bless me, and just he pushed away. Again, disturbed, please bless me. He pushed away, and the third time the elephant kicked him out, and he was dead. Then what happened? His son just filed a case against this elephant. And the elephant was summoned and he showed up in the court. And my dad was the judge and he gave verdict. There is no law to punish elephant. Ganesh Maharaj, you are free. Then he left the court. The verdict was like this. Well, I have told the story. Then after returning from here, couple of years, I was posted in one of the wildlife reserve. Here you call sanctuary. Then all of a sudden I saw that elephant in that area, and we had elephant camp with all the female elephants. We have our forest department used to just maintain them, and we go for patrolling in the forest wherever possible. So it was 1983, 85 when I was posted as a wildlife warden. The nature of the elephant, he didn't like alcohol. Somebody goes with alcohol, then he wouldn't like. As soon as I was posted in that area, within a week, he killed a lady who was badly drunken. And what happened? He went to the police station and he's standing there. Well, somebody was killed in my wildlife reserve, then I have to ask my staff to go get the public prosecutor, bring the police head, and do all the official work. And the police head was so surprised. Oh my gosh, this morning he came to front of my police office. Why he came? It was surprise. So anyway, he had a lot of sense of thing. Later on, what happened? Why I'm showing you, we have 8 domesticated official female elephant, and he used to come regularly there. And he was a giant male elephant. Then we had a elephant baby born there, and that was the starting point of elephant breeding center. Later on, that elephant breeding center was transferred to Chitwal National Park. You have heard about the Chitwal National Park? Anyway, that's my family. So I have already told about the history. Now I come to the second part, how I came here. That was my college life in Nepal. Then in 1975, we 14 Nepalese trainee and one of the departmental candidate came here. Then we have seen some of the slides already, so I will not take much time. Some of the colleagues, they are present here, and you can see over there. Some are already been no more in this way. This is the double the trouble, and one trouble is there, Mr. Alok Joshi. It was a great coincidence, like the comedy of the era of the Shakespeare. Have you heard any institution with two twins in IFS service or any kind of service? It is a big coincidence. Huh? So then you have seen already, we went to the Gindi National Park, Snake Park, and Dr. S.K. Sinha, he was my guide, so we had some kind of experience. Those days, touching the elephant, touching the snake was so dangerous, and they thought it is non-poisonous, so we had courage to touch them. Then this is the team already you have seen in the slide. Well, I was a little bit little bit of asset. So then I was a volleyball captain, and why I'm showing this, NFRC and FRI, oh sorry, always used to defeat us. Fortunately, I became the captain, and after 12 years, we won the tournament. So that was the great thing, you know. Well, I was a dancer, then I was awarded as the top for a training of that time. So you can see my long hair, but I don't have all gone, my most of the hair. Hmm. Now I come to the part three. After I passed from here, getting my degree from those days Indian Forest College, I ended up to get a job in Nepal. I was posted as a forest officer. So I work as wildlife warden, as DFO, National Project Director with FAO CEDA project. I have already told to my colleague everybody, so I'm not presenting any technical thing, you know. So during that time, I had an opportunity to present with the minister to the international dignities, and probably you will not recognize this man, you know. He is Javier Perez de Cuellar, General Secretary of the United Nations, you know. I had opportunity to meet him during my Food and Agriculture Organization and Swedish Development International Agency. So that was one of my good movement while I was being posted as a forest officer. Then, well, this is my credentials. Did masters from Colorado State, PhD from Auburn University. Then my sweetheart is there. You know, I have a great privilege to bring her. So, so I am here after almost 50 years. I can't miss this opportunity. So as soon as Mr. A.K. Bansal told me, immediately I booked my ticket and I am going to be here, leaving my all the other anything. So I talked to many of my colleagues over the phone, most of them, you know. So I had a great honor to be see our friends with gray hair. Some are with good hand, good health. Some are maybe a little bit. So that's my pet. I have already so, and this is the parents of my wife. And fortunately, my mother-in-law belongs to one of the past king family. They called the Malla before the Shah dynasty was in the Nepal. You know, she's also the Malla. You know, so that is a coincidence. Nothing to do with that. It happened. Then this is my family. My two daughters, my other family. So okay, how I look like after so many years, 1991. So well, this is not very much interest. This is something we usually meet our friends in Nepal. Mr. Gautam is here, who is present in this great occasion. Then I had a teaching in Canada a little bit. Then I had a postdoctoral fellow at Auburn University. Then worked as an affiliated professor, something like that. Then I'm involved in us mapping international a little bit, but now I'm free. I serve as some of the association, Nepal Forest Association, Society of American Foresters, then Council on Forest Engineering. Now I come to the what I did recently in last 5 years. You know, you can see the great picture. They all are IFC product. Nepal had privilege to come for this institution from 1946 to 1990. I'm here. You can see a lot of people. They are all AFC. You know. We have a regular meeting, monthly meeting, and we share our idea. And what happened? Why I'm showing this thing. One day there was a big issue. The government of Nepal is going to clear 8,000 hectares of Sarai forest, worth of 594 billion rupees. And government is going to spend 840 billion rupees to build an airport, you know. So that was a disaster. Economically, socially, environmentally, it was a disaster for the nation. I was on that meeting, then I thought, okay, I'm going to volunteer. Let us make a small group and we start studying what are the things to do. So we started studying the thing. The EIA, the 1800-page EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, it took us 1 month to come with the study paper. Then this is the data I have already told you. Lot of the annual environmental loss was 231 billion, according to the environmental impact assessment. It's a government document. I have already told this one. So this is the scenario. The Nisgar Airport, you can see on the top and the bottom, the Indira Gandhi Airport, and with the another airport we compare, they are only 1600 hectares, 900 hectares, something like that. Why we need 8,045 hectares? And all they are going to clear the forest. So our team started studying. Then fortunately, I was invited for interaction with the Nepal environmental journalist group. So I was one of the panel discussion. So we presented the paper, and it was a national issue. So all people started going against the decision. So I had a television program with the minister. They wanted to dominate me. Fortunately, we studied so well. They have so loopholes. They couldn't give the answer. So fortunately, we were in good shape. What kind of forest they were going to clear? You can see the tree. 16 feet grass, a salt tree, and 8,000 hectares of area they were going to clear, worth of 594 billion rupees. How the forest look like this? I have one. And why I'm showing this picture, if you go to all the west, you see the Radhaji National Park, then you see the Jim Corbett National Park, then the Durwa National Park, then lot of things. Then in Nepal there is Shukla Phata National Park, Bardia National Park, Bake, then Chitwan National Park. It was a project launched by World Wildlife Fund to connect the Tarai Arc project from all the way to Uttarakhand. It goes to up to the river Bagmati. So the area they want to clear that comes under that big arc project, and that will be the big disaster. So I have to meet many people, from the former president to the minister. We had a strategy paper. We gave talk program to everybody. We presented our thing, and we went to the villages. Even we invited the former chief justice, and they invited me for an aerial survey. They wanted to convince me they can cut some forest. Then I had a 2-hour helicopter ride. Then I talked to my wife. Okay, next day I am going for the helicopter. Like the former prime minister invited me to go, and she was so much scared. In the mountains there are a lot of helicopter crash. Something happens. So anyway, we were able to convert. This is how I met the former president. After 4 years of battle, due to the COVID, it will linger. So we won the case. Uh, And the case was the Nepalese government designated the 8,000 hectare, 45 hectares is illegal, null and void. The environmental impact assessment was unlawful. If government of Nepal desires to have the first international airport, have a group of all impartial means independent, environmentalists, social activists, everybody, and you need it, you give it, just come with a new proposal. So due to that 4-year battle, what we gain, we had a very big group of the people, from lawyer to the business people, from social activists, a lot of people. Yeah. So we have a big group that anytime any environmental issue come, then we have a big group who is already present in the society. Now I'm sorry, is it very time? Sorry for that. Finally, I have established a small scholarship in my name of my parents. So I have already told this thing. So any question? Thank you very much. Sorry, I took a little bit more time. Oh, sorry, how it goes. Get it off it.
Thank you, sir. We know that we cannot do the justice to your unique experience you had over this distinguished career. Uh, Now, I would like to request Shri S.K. Ahluwalia, sir, to address the gathering.
आगे चलाओ.
Sorry, next.
Okay, thank you. Director sir, my lifelong friends, and the future of India, You will be taking this country from developing to developed status. I will not be talking of the past. Forestry is an ocean. And the faculty here is going to expose you to various aspects of forestry. I will stick myself to a small sliver of forestry. India is moving through a transition. And what is that transition? Towards smaller government, better governance. Forest management strategies will require to adapt themselves with this change. So I begin my it's a 2-slide presentation, so you don't have to worry at all. It's just 2 slides. The first slide, what I'm trying to say is that forest research, which is probably at the most critical element to take a sector forward, research per se, I said, we need to transfer forest research, which is today sitting somewhere at the back, in the forestry management system, to private bodies. That is this salient point that I'm trying to make. The second point which I'm trying to make is, why am I saying that you should take forestry research to the private sector? It's because you have a host of other things to do, and forest research is largely environmental friendly, does not disrupt the ecosystem, and it can be safely moved to the private sector without affecting conservation. The second point is, if you look at the scenario as it is prevailing worldwide, huge amounts of resources, financial, technical, and educational, are all going into this sector of research. And what are the areas? I mentioned some of them. It's even though forestry research is largely in the domain of the government, but it is not as if that the Indian researchers are not doing anything. In fact, after China, probably, Indian researchers have a very massive body of research papers which are getting published in international as well as various journals. Is all what I'm saying in air? No. You see, the transition has already happened. I'm talking of transition from today to 2047, when we will become a developed country. Madhya Pradesh state, I'm talking of today, has begun to engage the private sector in degraded forest rehabilitation. It's actually happened.
The second point which I want to say is, which should be the area of research which we should focus on? This is one single slide. This is the last slide. I have identified 5 areas: genetic, climate, medicine, soil and water, and agriculture. And I have tried to argue in this slide, why have I selected these 5 areas? Let us pick area number 1, genetics. Forests, India has 2.4% of the world's area. I'm talking of forests. But 7 to 8% of all recorded species are here in this country. Second point. So that's why you need to do this research, genetic research. The second, 34 out of the 34 globally identified hotspots, 4 of them are in India. So you need to look at this segment of research. The third is medicine. 50% of all medicine has plant-based origin. Most of it is based in forests. So that's the third reason, third area which I have talked about. Fourth, agriculture. 75% of the global food crops rely on pollinators like bees. That's why important to look at the mother of all this, and that is the forest. And the fifth area is soil and water. Healthy ecosystems provide 75% of the global water, and therefore you need to focus on these 5 areas of research. And what are we doing today? I'm not going to talk of now the future. What are we doing today? This is what we are doing today. See the difference. The thrust areas which I have identified for the future, this is the position as on to date. Thank you very much. Please think about it and wish you all the best. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your short presentation and also highlighting the importance of research in the field of forest. Now, I would like to invite Shri Ong Chai Lai, sir, to share his thoughts on the sector of forest.
Next. Yeah, we should. Next. Good morning, probationers, director of the academy, my old friends, and other colleagues. Now, first of all, I would like to share my experiences as a forester for the last 60 years. Just a short word to the probationers. The probationers training in forestry are just like seeds. They have to be sown, they have to germinate, to nurture and grow old. As like foresters, we are in that process. Now, just a bit of introduction of myself. My association with forestry begins in 1966. I was a young forester. The difference in my career in forestry is that I have served the government. I was also in the semi-government, and now I'm in the private sector running my own consulting company. Like what the director had said yesterday, forests are a unique breed. And now, for the senior foresters, we have gone through the cycle of 50 years. The trends in forestry are changing. We started off with production forests, which is to be harvested, and we ensure that all the commercial, what you call the industries, the downstream industries, are met with our production forests. And now we have to include protection and conservation forests. The present trend is that we are now going into urban forestry, which is residential houses, areas, condominiums, roadside trees. Now, we have been talking about climate change. Climate change is for real. And it has been sort of demonstrated by El Nino, El Nina, glacier melting. The new trend is carbon sequestration. Now, the scope of foresters are now not only limited to managing the forest, but now it is towards urban forestry, creation of forest parks for amenities, for recreation, for education in housing and condominium areas. So I conclude by saying that the scope of professional forests are not limited to only the private and public services. So now I would like to present the first slide. I'm going to take you through the journey where I'm involved in. This is my early days when Dr. Pandey was talking about technology. This is my early days when we go into the forest without the GPS. The only reliable thing we have is the topo map and a compass. That's how we find our way. So this is my first early involvement in forestry. Now, again here, coming back to Dr. Pandey talking about technology, we don't have GPS. We have to depend on viewers and the regions. So the easy road to go through is to go through the route of least resistance, that is through the river. Then we don't have modern technology where we have built up tents and all these things. We have to build our own tents. And you can see that hammock is our only comfort in the forest. Now, there's no better than a hot drink in the morning. Now, this is my first area survey conducted for a forest area. This is in 1968. Now, coming back, when I was already in service for almost 10 years, before I came over to Dehradun in 1976. You can see the juniors college, the juniors hostel. That was in 1976, where we still have the living rooms behind this junior hostel. This is where we lived in 1976 or 77. This is the seniors hostel where I had the opportunity to visit during this trip, where I could see the trees have even grown very, very big. The same picture which I think Shrestha has showed, this is teamwork. And there was quite a bit of a hall. This is one picture of the hockey team with the seniors. Now, during the midterm break, I, together with a few colleagues, DC Pan is there, Kashmir Singh is there. We make a trip to the Valley of Flowers. And that was in 1977, during the midterm break. This is a picture we showed that it's a very rare opportunity to meet up with Edmund Hillary, the first man to climb Mount Everest. Now, after I graduated and went back to Malaysia, I had to serve my bond with the government, and later on I moved over to a semi-government organization, which was managing 2 million hectares of forest land. And these 2 million hectares of forest land was supposed to generate revenue for the state government to provide scholarship and training for all the residents in that state. So we had to manage on a profitable basis. Now, this slide shows the chief minister, who happened to be also our chairman, looking at the seedlings which we have germinated. And these seedlings belongs to the species of calamus, which is a rattan species. This is the nursery of the Luar Song Forestry Center, where I was managing. And this Luar Song Forestry Center is located about 100 kilometers from the small city of Tawau, which is right inside the forest. I was there for 6 years. Now, coming back to the auspicious day of 21st March 1987. That was almost 30 years ago. We already had the first planting by our chief minister. I'm taking you through some of my experiences in the Republic of Congo. I spent quite a number of years in Republic of Congo. And this is my inventory team, where I was doing some work for a private company. This is another picture of the Republic of Congo. I think this is a different slide, I think. Anyway, it's part. Can you go back? Can you go back? Okay. No, further up. That picture, okay. No, that's a different one. Wait, let me see. No, that's a different one. Yeah, that's right. Down, down, down. Some more, some more, some more. Okay, the other thing which I want to impress to the probationers is that, like I said earlier, we are not limited to only managing the forest, but we are now looking towards development of forestry for private and public areas. Now you can see this germination of these seeds. These are dipterocarp seeds which has got very short viability, and therefore whatever we get, we have to sow them, and it only flowers once in 4 to 5 years. Now, in order to do all your urban forestry, first thing you have to start off with seeds and seedlings. We have different type of seedlings. We also produce instant trees over we take out big trees from the secondary forest. Big trees from the secondary forest. That's how we make the root ball, and we insert this into the planting hole. These are some of the big trees transplanted, and it was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of the state. I was also involved in the creation of a forest park, which was 365 hectares, converting oil palm and rubber back into a natural forest. And this was in Putrajaya. So for dipterocarp planting, we have to have in undershade. We cannot have an open planting. These are for some of the avenue trees which we have planted before the forest park. Now how it looks after 25 years. I had also the opportunity to create forest park in between the condominiums. These are instant trees that were brought in to do the urban forestry. This is how we put it into the planting holes. This mini forest park was created all within 2 months with the instant trees. Just to show you some of the pictures of, this is in how we go through some of the forest areas. These are the large logs in Africa. This tree of Adansonia digitata is significant because the president of Congo, Republic of Congo, used to play around here when he was a kid. This is a globe showing 0 degrees, right at the equator, which many towns or cities in the world do not run through that latitude. These are some of my work in Cambodia, Papua New Guinea, tree planting by Nestle on a CSR program, community social responsibility. Seeds collected, seedlings for the Nestle project, the buffer zone where we are planting up, the bosses of the 2 big companies doing their greening work. Riparian reserves planting 6 months after, 1 year after, 1.5 years after. These are some trees which I planted, and this is a 31-year-old tree. 30-year-old Kaya arborensis. This is a phase program, forest for absorbing carbon dioxide emission. And then this was planted. You can see the row of trees still behind there. Now, the key for success on all these works is knowledge, understand nature, observe SOPs, and be passionate, like what Dr. Sridharan has said. Observe simple principles on standards operating procedures and rules of nature. Know their habitats, ecological and edaphic requirements. Knowledge of the subject matter is utmost important, but they are just the guidelines. Practical and hands-on experience is more valuable for greater success. Dealing with biological things. No two plants are identical, even of the same species from the same parents. And you have to develop and compile your own criteria, indicators, standards, and knowledge while implementing the job to build up your own guidelines. There is no shortcut to success. The key resource personnel for management and supervision are the core staff with passionate and love for plants. That's important. Our motto is do it once and do it right to save cost and time. This is what we call smart partnership. Aneka Mega is my company, potential clients. In Malaysia, we say terima kasih. Thank you very much.
Sir, we are truly grateful for your insights, and IGNFA takes pride in its foreign officers, and thank you for sharing a glimpse of global forestry. It is said, the mind that opens to inquisitive officers, today's talk surely would have expanded our horizons. To further deliberate, with the permission of Director Sir, we will open the floor for questions. Due to paucity of time, we could be able to take only 2 to 3 questions. I request my fellow probationers to kindly raise their hands, and if they have any question, they may ask the dignitaries. Yes. Hello.
Good afternoon, respected seniors. It's a pleasure learning from all of your experiences, sir. Sir, my name is Ronin Singh, and I have been allocated Gujarat cadre. So I have a two-part question, sir. One thing which I wanted to know, sir, that in the span of last 5 decades, did you observe any change in the relationship between political leaders and the forest officers in India? And the second is, sir, what do you recommend to us as a batch, sir, so that we can make the most out of this relationship in the coming time, sir?
Would any senior officer of the audience like to respond very quickly on this? As to how the relationship has undergone change. Please provide my Please try to be very brief, sir.
Hello. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. In my experience, the political masters, of course, my experience is only with reference to my state, Tamil Nadu. Otherwise, only hearsay from other states. The standard of political masters over the years have changed not towards positivity, but they have become aware of their powers and position, and the forcing or intimidation over the years have increased. This is the status. And the suggestion how to manage political masters is we have to follow the constitutional principles. So we remain with our constitutional principles, and wherever the political master says something which is not as per acts or rules, we politely say that it cannot be done. And the maximum change you will expect is a transfer. And that is always safer rather than following the instructions or orders of the political master. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, respected seniors, for your insightful guidance. Sir, I am Anwar Jain. I belong to Egmont cadre. Sir, my question is that during the time of environmental laws, such as 1970s and 80s, there could have been a natural shift that forest officer could have been taken lead in that arena. Similarly, sir, presently, since the climate change is the new arena, so new responsibility could have been given to forest officers. But sir, why this particular change could not happen, and how we can go about it? Thank you, sir.
Any officers? Some general basis.
Climate change is a very wide spectrum thing, and in the current context as we are discussing, if we are able to give answers to questions which are rooted in the reality of your division. For example, I don't know if there is a part of your syllabus. For example, in order to see wildlife droppings or scat, are you using the appropriate apps by which you can learn, so that even if politician may say you have not seen any tiger here, but by your observation, by authentic analysis through app, there are special AI apps for identifying scats and this thing. I don't know that is part of training or not, but if you can firmly say your response, which is rooted in exact reality, then the other person would have to accept it, and with, of course, humbleness. Secondly, because climate change is it not as you can, I hardly need to deliberate on it. If it embraces Yamuna, it embraces Himalayas, it embraces soils, it embraces oceans. Everything you can't take upon yourself. Therefore, it would be absolutely, similarly, I would say, suppose some area may not have a very visible good forest, but many times climbers and other small things, there is a, in general, I would say, I would not cast aspersion on anybody, but there are very few people who would know whether which species is endangered, which species is extinct, which species is of least concern, and how they are done. General knowledge apart, but if you know which species of such nature are in your division and what care you have to take, and how that climber and a small thing which may not be of any immediate consequence but is endangered is risked by that small project. Therefore, that answer cannot be easily negated. So that would be giving you a firm stand to hold your views and at the same time make the other person answerless. Thank you.
Can I supplement?
Very quickly.
No, I just wanted to supplement what friend Alok Joshi said. See, you have to see the context. In 1975-76, the kind of syllabus, kind of training that was imparted was highly, forestry focused. There was no element of environment in the whole training process, and even when we went down to the field, the exposure was limited to forestry. I just want to give you an example, because having worked in NGT, one heard a case where a pollution control board, where increasingly, of course, forest officers are being engaged as member secretaries and chairman of pollution control board. But the ministry even took the stand saying that the training component of the forestry does not have more than 1% of environmental component, and therefore, it is difficult to post officers with no basic training and basic exposure to environment as a subject and environmental law. And therefore, I think I must compliment the government of India and, of course, the academy for having changed the syllabus so that you are now better exposed to what are the environmental aspects, what are the process of environmental clearances, what is the due diligence that goes through in, when you approve a project, what are the environmental laws. So you are better exposed. So you are lucky in that sense that you will tomorrow, when you go down to the field, you will be in a better position with better confidence to manage positions if they are given to you on environmental field. And I'm sure over a period of time, as we move along, hopefully in future, the whole environmental aspect and environment as a subject will get encompassed within the scope of the Forest Service at the state level and at the central government level. Thank you.
Friends, you were worried about political system and environment. Let me talk of the political system. If you display the commitment, what Sridharan was talking was emotional content, no? If you are emotionally attached to forest, and if you are committed to the forest, and you are aware of your subject, I don't think any political power will be able to do anything to you. I tell you a very small incident. Blue Bull was a menace. Gujarat fellow? Yeah, in entire Gujarat. All the farmers were crying, right? I was chief wildlife warden for 7 years in Gujarat. Keep sitting. Okay. Situation, every assembly there will be questions and all MLAs will make noise and all kind of things will happen. We will give some reply. CM called the meeting. I will tell you who was the CM. And 4 or 5 ministers were sitting. Our minister was sitting. Chief Secretary was sitting. One of the minister who was earlier forest minister, he said, let the forest department see other side. We will settle the issue. Meaning thereby they will kill it, you don't take the action. Huh? I said, sir, I will be hauled to the court and you will be in trouble. I will be standing. There are organizations which will take, NGOs which will take me to the court. And I will be in the court. And what will happen? Chief Wildlife Warden is standing in the court. Government will be in the trouble. Anything may happen to me, that's irrelevant, but the government will be in trouble. So the issue is that you make the minister realize one is you should have commitment, you should be transparent, and you should be seen as helping reasonable things. Many officers sometimes become very adamant, will do nothing. No, you should be reasonable. The things which can be done should be done. But when it comes to it, you may make them realize their own commitment, their own responsibilities. If they know that it is their responsibility, things will be different. And you know who was the chief minister? I don't need to say.
Thank you so much for that response. Please go ahead.
So, to encapsulate today's discussion and provide his valuable insights, I now request Director IGNFA, Shri Jagmohan Sharma sir, who is also the presiding officer of this program, to share his thoughts.
I think we've had a very useful session. You heard from 5 veteran foresters who have spent their lives in the sector. They gave an exposure which ranged from the times in 1960s, 70s through pictures, and thereafter as to in which direction the sector is moving, including providing some suggestions to us. I think we have noted them. We have also understood as to remaining professional, how important is that, and being a person who is thinking and is able to rationalize and adjust and also logically present one's view is very important, and that can sail us through any day in any situation. And we have to keep patience, and we must accommodate things by making best sense of the situation. So on this International Day of Forests, while I thank our speakers who have shared their valuable insights, who have spent time with us, who have obliged us by making the effort to put together presentations, and we have benefited from it. I'm thankful to them. And I congratulate us all, the forest fraternity, on this very important International Day. Our engagement with the International Day will continue. Let me also share with you that on Monday, Embassy at Tokyo is organizing a program on International Day of Forests, and I am on the panel. I'll be presenting a discourse for about 10 minutes on forests and food systems in a warming world. So I'm happy to share all of that with you. I think we have had a good day. The proceedings have been highly professional, and they expose us further and expand our thinking in the forest sector, the environment sector, and overall the concerns that are confronting the planet at present. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. To express our sincere gratitude to each one involved in making this event a success, I invite Mrs. Shivani Singh, IFS probationer, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Suchit. A very good afternoon to all present. It is my distinct honor and privilege to deliver a formal vote of thanks at the culmination of the International Day of Forest celebration. First and foremost, I express my heartfelt gratitude to our key speakers, Dr. Devendra Pandey sir, Shri C.K. Sridharan sir, Dr. S.P. Shresh sir, Shri S.K. Ahluwalia sir, and Shri Ong Chayalai sir. Sirs, your vast experience of 50 years spoke to us through the ideas and insights you presented, especially the synoptic view presented of technical applications in forestry, the need of multiple intelligence emphasized for professional excellence, the insights into Nijagarh airport issue, the advice on how to encourage private research studies in forest, and the suggestion on how to set up an urban forest park. I assure you that we will carry the suggestions and learnings you imparted today in our minds and implement them in the times to come. I would also like to convey my sincere gratitude to the officers of 1975 and 1976 batch who graced us with their presence. Today, the experience of decades gone by has given perspective to the vision of decades to come. I extend my deepest gratitude to our director, Dr. Jagmohan Sharma sir, for his resolute guidance and constant support in coordinating this program. Sir, your personal engagement and precise oversight have been pivotal in enhancing this event to its current stature and importance. I would also like to acknowledge the invaluable support and guidance given by Professor in Service Training, course coordinator of this workshop, officer in charge estates, officer in charge IT, officer in charge vehicles, and the course director of the IFS 2024 batch. Their tireless efforts have been instrumental in ensuring the seamless execution of the program. Our sincere thanks also extends to the family members in the audience of all the participant officers for gracing this occasion with their presence. Further, I would like to extend my gratitude to the batch of 56 RR IFS probationers for their active participation and enthusiastic interaction. Last but not the least, I thank all the employees and staff of IGNFA present here, whose dedication and enthusiastic participation underscored the significance of the event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shivani, for those words of gratitude. With the permission of presiding officer, we conclude this insightful session, carrying forward valuable insights and reflections. Thank you all for your presence and participation. As a mark of respect, we kindly request all the probationers to be seated till all the dignitaries exit the hall. Thank you.
Thank you.